South Africa went to the polls in the first presidential election after the death of Nelson Mandela. Opinion polls suggest the party he once led, the African National Congress, will hold on to power. I spoke to CCTV correspondent Guy Henderson in Pretoria and asked him about the mood on Election Day.
Well, we've spent the day in Alexandra Township, a township on the edge of Johannesburg. It's a poor working class community. It's the vote, the core vote of the ruling party. It's the vote that every other party in South Africa wants and will need if they are to one day compete with the dominance of the African National Congress. The mood we found all day was very buoyant. Things really ran like clockwork, but we have since heard reports that there have been at least some isolated incidents. So in Limpopo province, for example, a situation where a polling station was only allowed to open halfway through the day because it had a shortage of ballot papers, and then a dispute not far away from us, also in Alexandra Township, between two parties that for a brief time led to the shutdown of that polling station. But that has, on the whole, been isolated. Focus now turning to the Independent Electoral Commission here in Pretoria, where there'll be a frantic all-nighter for the ruling party and for the other parties as the votes and results start to be counted.
Well, what are their predictions so far? Will the ANC be able to maintain the majority? Because it seems many are hoping the ANC will get a scare. What's your sense?
Well, I don't think even leaders of opposition parties here would dispute that the ANC is going to win this vote. It's going to win it by some margin. But the big question in the build-up and during the polling of voters across the country has been by how much it will win that vote. Now, you might remember that in the last few months, the President, Jacob Zuma, has had pretty much a torrent of bad press, specifically around this issue of state money being spent on his private home to the tune of $20 million or more. And that parts of that conduct was found by an independent report to be unethical. Now, one of the things we found in the last couple of months traveling around the country and speaking to voters is that they're not happy at all about that. They do not, on the whole, like the leader of the African National Congress, Jacob Zuma. However, they do still back the ANC itself and its policies. So what will be interesting to note is whether the ANC will be able to maintain that vote despite a perception that Mr. Zuma is not particularly popular across the country. And the big telltale sign will be whether it keeps above 60%.